Up, garage racer. You've got a BMW and you want a power boost? This vid is definitely for you. What's the point? Well, back in the day, about 15 years ago, BMWs were atmospheric. It was hard and difficult to make more power, and it wasn't really worthwhile. Now, since 2010, for the past 15 years, they've been turbocharged. So what does that mean? So power can easily be increased by 20, 30, 40%. With a simple chip tuning and a few mods. Anyone following our channel knows we have a lot of 328, 535, 230, 340, 240 projects, M4 and various other diesels. And they all lend themselves very easily to chip tuning. And you can look specifically for each model to see how much power your BMW can actually give you. We have a bunch of different videos on the channel, different playlists. This video will be very relevant to BMWs sometime after 2016. And the more charged up your BMW is, the more there is to take power off relative to factory values. For example, on our 240 on stage 3 we shot X2 power relative to stock. The stock was 340 horsepower. And on stage 3 it's 680 plus. Here, on the M4, with just a downpipe, a simple pipe and some software, you can make fabulous power numbers. And easily smoke any Lambo, Ferrari and the like. Not to mention, off the line you'll totally destroy them. In the next series about this M4 project we'll prove it to you. Somehow, BMW tries to close its brains from unlock, from chip tuning, from interference. They've been there for 10 hours. And now they've got all sorts of hard locks. So it could be, well, it seems like a defense, but it makes the cars look tunable. I'd say they respond to tuning really well. And for this, it is necessary that the brains were not too much locked, well, not too much secured there. Anyway, it's not clear, there's some kind of struggle. I think that if BMW's brains were completely locked in, it would lose out dramatically on tuning. All the other competitors like here. Because you couldn't tune it properly, you could only put in sports brains, you know. That's why I think it's kind of a two-way thing. I feel like BMW sort of knows there's a loophole, like a way to sneak in and do a tune. Plus, I think they work at the same Bosch. Well, Bosch makes the brains German. And I think the same Bosch has some dudes working for them that leak information to everyone who's smart. Like hacker for short. Called membranes. So, anyway, they're selling it. So, anyway, it's kind of like... somehow it's set up there in general. But, as you can see, judging from the title of the vid, it is not so well organized. Because there are issues for different BMW owners. For BMWs that don't require any kind of unlocks. Where you can just connect to bot mods, pour in. Or other chip programmers. You just pour it in and that's it, and everything is clear. This is, roughly speaking, a BMW, which have brains built before 2020, month 6, and the firmware hasn't been updated beyond this month. So if you've got, say, a 2018 or like a 1716 with a B engine, like a 330 or 340, and if you don't have anything updated, you're fine. It will come in clearly. No need for any unlocks. Just buy from us under activation, pour yourself a bot mod, or there you have G01 for example, G30 there, 2018 or 2019. If it hasn't been updated to the 2021 or 2022 software, 2023, then you're going to be in the clear. That's the first category. I mean, that's something you don't have to be afraid of. But today we have what? Today we have, and by the way, when you plug in a boot mod, it'll say DME unlock requirement. That's DME, that's the brains. Unlock is unlock. Requirement is a translation like need. Required, not required. And basically, DME unlock requirement will say OBD. OBD. Here's a picture of it now. OBD means it's clear you can connect directly boot mod via cable or Wi-Fi. You can upload from your phone. Well, in general, everything is simple. You connect and follow the instructions. I'm showing you now. Here are the instructions. Here's the YouTube link. I made a video. You can use these instructions to upload everything without any unlocks, without any problems. Well, just make sure. We advise everyone to make sure that it says OBD. Here. Requirement OBD. So that means you don't need anything. OBD2 connector is where you plug it in. If you do have DME unlock requirement written on it, bench. You've got a badass version of that, but it's not the worst. It's not hopeless. That means you've probably got a car from 2018 or 2019, like a G30, G01, F30, B48 or B58. We even had an F15 in Kharkiv just 3 days ago. F15, Nikolai 55th, 2017 model. 17 model, can you believe American block? And you'd think, damn, nobody touched it, no firmware updates. But nope, in America they slapped on a 2022 firmware. F15's got the N55, not the B engine, can you believe that? They did the firmware and he demanded a bench unlock. Long story short, it needs a bench unlock. That's half the trouble. We can do that here in Kiev. We send the ECU from branches to Kiev, unlock it with special gear. Then you can flash boot mod. We can also do it in Kharkov. For example, 3 days ago we did it quickly in a day in Kharkov. It's like this kind of thing. And for example, it happens on our G30s, on 330s, 340s. Where else? Maybe on the G series. The further along, the more cars like that, cause the chances they got updated in America or somewhere else go up. It's already 2024. When 2025 hits, then 26, 30, there'll be even more cars like that. Hopefully by then they'll figure out another way to fix it. But for now, that's how it is. Basically, bench unlocks are done on the table. Check if your car's locked or if you've got bench unlock. You can hit us up or our branches for that. You can come over, we'll hook up the boot mod, see what version of integration you have, and what your unlock is. Or we can coordinate you remotely on how to do it. You can contact our manager, we'll help you out. Basically, after updating firmware post 2020, the firmware itself has some kind of lock, some protection. So what happens is you gotta dump the firmware, modify it, then flash it back. Not the same with the next type of lock. And we move on to the third stage. This is the third type of unlock, the most screwed up, the most stressful. This is the femto unlock. So you plug in a boot mod and it says femto required femto unlock. It was required on my M. When is it required? When you have the brains already executed. It's not the firmware there, it's the timing. The date it was executed was year 26 month. When it's later, it doesn't matter what firmware, there are nuances there, and they are being solved. So far in the world, supposedly femto can do it. Femto is located in Helsinki, and what is the nuance? In Ukraine, I know that someone in Ukraine can make some kinds of brains of this year. Who knows, right? Contacts who tested, who did not test. It would be interesting to have it in Ukraine and not have to send anything anywhere. And now I will show you how I did it, how long it took, how complicated it is, and what awaits someone who does that. But of course I had no intention of driving a stock underpowered M car, because I had no other option but to unlock it. In fact, my opinion is that this car without an unlock doesn't make sense to buy at all, because there are 3 F40, same thing. For 40 on stage 3 will easily do it, is the same car. In terms of ride characteristics, maybe even handles better. If it's on cool coilovers or on EDC suspension and with aftermarket wheels, we bought it to push it hard and fully unlock its potential. That's why. A car without unlock is just money down the drain, I'd say. A car without a chip is money down the drain, especially an M. If you say, Vadym, why go with a tuned one, just buy a stock car, then what kind of stock car can you get with 800 horsepower? With 1000 horsepower? There are no such cars. Maybe some latest Lambo with 800 or 1000 horsepower. Those go for like 500 grand. Well, okay. If you can afford that, good for you. Me, not yet. I'm just not there yet. Of course, I hope to have opportunities in my life to buy cars like that. We're getting there. Anyway, that's the thing. BMW haven't come up with anything more powerful, sorry. When BMW have something with 1000 horsepower, I'll aim to buy a 1000 horsepower car. In the meantime, the BMW, so 510 horsepower max, and the M5 625, they're heavier, that sort of thing. And the S58 motor is more reliable than the S63. Anyway, well, that's another topic. Who is interested in how the unlock stage occurs, what there is to remove, brains and so on? Let's move on. I would even say that the real competitor of the M, which we want to make on gasoline, is 800 HP, 850. It's not even a Huracan. I mean, it's not a Huracan atmospheric, it's not even an Aventador. It's not even a supercar or a hypercar. Hypercars that are 1,000 plus horsepower, probably. Yeah, those ones, but even those Lambos, Ferraris, they still suck. The M5 has stage 3 gasoline. Yeah, with water meth injection. And if you run an ethanol setup, you're looking at 1,000 horsepower. You get the idea? So at 1,000 horsepower, it's going to be hard to beat. Overtake it. Beat it easily. Anyway. Well, it's understandable who measures it that way. It's just my thoughts, how I evaluate cars. If I'm not a vegetable, even if I'm not a lamba, but I'm not a vegetable either. It's clean. It's purely a collector's item. There's still some decent time left in the season, so you can probably still get everything done. Vadym bought 2 wrenches, sizes 15 and 16. Vadym's timing mark is off. No 16. The timing mark was off, so I bought 2. So 15 it is. That's it, 15. Now we're taking off this. It's removed here. Let's lift this assembly up. It's very easy. Like this, there's 2 rubber bands. You should mark this, but let's take a picture. Let's take a picture of these. I don't think they're going to stick, so what we've got is basically here. It's more or less clear. The first one is black, the second one with gray markings, third blue, fourth green, fifth yellow, sixth white. Normally, you'd need to disconnect the battery terminal, but they say you can do it without disconnecting the battery terminal. Plus, we'll need to shut off the car anyway. So we're gonna have to shut it down. It would be a good idea to read the errors, and it would be a good idea put on some badass gloves. Garage Racer's gloves. Black. Gray is gone. Blue is leaving. Green is up. Yellow is up. White. Interesting. It's a little bit interfered with by these little, moving around a little bit. Little wires, cables. Like these, I mean, it's the same analogy here. This is black, these are black. Then you go gray, green, blue, green, yellow, everything by analogy. So let's see. Maybe try not to take it off at all. You could try to take it off like this. What this thing looks like, there's 2 hooks like this. Pried it up. Pried it up with this, with the wrench that didn't even fit. I put it in there, I put it in there, I put it in the plastic, and now I'm lifting it up. It's in the way, it's in the way. Plugs, chicks. What do we have? Here, under the hook I pulled these. The plugs, well, we've got a yellow connection in the way. The yellow goes into the blue. Right there. That's the connection. These ones need to be unscrewed. So we disconnected these 2 far ones. And that's it. It seems to be working. It's fine. Up the brain. Those 2 over there. I'd advise you to just stick in a screwdriver or a wrench, comes off easily. And with these pins here, you can use a screwdriver. And with this wrench, I slowly pull it out so that it doesn't fall out. It doesn't fall out completely. Here, I think I'll leave it like that. I'll stash the strut bar in the trunk now, and that's it. We were counting on 2 to 3 weeks. I wanted to see how much it would come out to through our channels. Sent it through one of the suppliers in Lviv. We were expecting around 2 to 3 weeks, like a week and a half each way. But yeah, that turned out to be not as easy as I thought. Didn't go as smoothly. Basically, it took a really long time to get there. It took almost 3 weeks. 3 weeks just to get there. More like 2-3 weeks. And it came back fast. It was fast there, it was fast to ship, but it was expensive. Well, more expensive than going there, and it was faster, more expensive. And it came back exactly 1 day to a month. I looked there, by the way. I sent it. Come to think of it, I shipped the brains on October 18th. I mean, look how uninterested I was in driving a stock car. That's us on the 16th. I think it went in on the 15th or 16th. We had some quick runs, that was in October. I think it left around the 15th or 16th, and I quickly pulled the ECU, I believe, but I need to double check. Basically, it was barely running stock at all, because in stock, it's a vegetable. A slowpoke, a vegetable car. Looks like it's been the second day this year so far. It's one of the coolest. The first one was when the car arrived to Kiev. And it started up. It probably started up on the second try. Anyway, now we're on the way. I'm going to pick up the ECU. I'm going to get the brains from the O-block, and hopefully it'll work. Packed. The little brains in the big box. We're gonna put up. We're here. Our car. The plates. Now it's going to be fire. Straight fire. By the way, what do you think of this thing? If it's red, also orange, I'd made one. Ops. I did better today, after this. Oh yeah. Gummed up. It's gummed up. Oh, come on. It's good to get the vids off. Here we go. Now we're putting it back on. There we go. This doesn't fit. Watch the vid. The last one's white. Then yellow. White one's done. Yellow is up. There's a green one.
Second gray on the mark, third blue.
Okay, we're doing the same thing here. Yellow, green, blue, gray, and black. Up. Got it. There are colors. It's all clear. There's a stopper right here. And we're going in. It won't fit any other way. Looks like everything's there. Probably all set. I think everything's assembled. The key is in my pocket. It worked, and we unlocked the DME. The car started. Now how to tune it, stage 1 and stage 2, and what results they bring. You'll find out in our upcoming episodes about this project. For questions about this kind of unlocking, feel free to reach out to us. We'll help you arrange delivery of the ECUs there and back. But we really want to find people in Ukraine who can do this. It's essentially a service that's in demand worldwide. And why? Well, it gets done. I understand it takes just a few hours. So why pay a ton of money elsewhere if you can do it right here in our country? Basically, boost our GDP, especially considering the cost of this unlock. I think there's real money to be made here. If you set up a steady flow, it could be tens of thousands of dollars a month, though there are some limits, not just with the software, and also with the hardware, so just dumping and flashing the firmware won't work. Something needs to be fixed in the hardware. From what I understand, very few people and very few companies worldwide know about this. That's why we'd be glad if someone in Ukraine started doing this. By the way, a quick note, all the cars you see, M3s, M4s, they're all from 2021 or newer. That's how it is. And they're all unlocked. So if you see a stage car, know that it's been unlocked like this. Most likely they're bought specifically for these needs. Racers, racers. And we don't forget that there's a war going on in our country. We help the army and volunteers. So glory to Ukraine, death to the occupiers, and we're off to shoot more videos for you.